Hi everybody, welcome to Walker's Guide and welcome to day 27 of 30 Days of Wild. And today I'm back in sunny, warm hainault forest and I'm looking at some trees. There's a surprise, right? And today we're going to look at a tree that looks very similar to one we've already looked at, but I promise you we haven't. This tree is sometimes called the Queen of the Trees. And it's a beautiful, large tree, common-ish, native, particular in its choosing places to live. And it can grow for many, many hundreds of years. A coppice example, which means it's been cut down to the ground and then allowed to regrow, has been known to be over 1,000 years old. But its leaf is similar. It's recognisable to something we've already looked at. And its bark too is quite reminiscent to the hornbeam. But it's not a hornbeam. In fact, it's one of the species it can be confused with. In fact, probably the only species it can be confused with. But where the hornbeam has small leaves with striations on them, this tree has larger leaves that are more, well, let's have a look. The leaf of this tree is surrounded by small little hairs that come out the sides. They're slightly rippled and they feel a bit like leather or plastic. Compare that to the hornbeam. We can see the hornbeam has that sawtooth edge, not fine fibres, and is lighter and less smooth, less plasticky. So what tree is this? Well, this is the beech, Fagus sylvatica. Fagus, for naming after a god. In Celtic mythology, Fagus was the god of the beech trees, and it's thought to have, or it was thought to have, medicinal properties. Beech leaves were used to reduce swellings and boiling them to make a poultice. I said it's the queen of the trees, the king obviously being the oak. But it's a beautiful tree. They get some serious age and they are so useful and long lasting. But look around underneath them. The floor is devoid of life because they shade it out. They drop huge numbers of leaves. Now they're monoecious, which means that the male and female flower are both on one tree. The male flower, like other trees, is a catkin, and the female flower is a pear. So there's two flowers together inside a sort of cup. And once they're fertilised, that cup becomes a hard shell. And the beech seed, or beech mast, forms within it. And these actually can be eaten. There's tradition of eating them or feeding them to pigs. And in France, occasionally still, they are dried and cooked to turn into a sort of coffee. And they're ground up. I don't like coffee. I haven't been to France in years. And I haven't tried it. So I can't say if it's good or not. For wildlife, they're really valuable. There are particular butterflies and moths that survive on them and rely on them. Again, like with the poplar moths, they've got some very odd names. We're talking about things like the grizzled skipper and the Duke of Burgundy and the white admiral. And then there's the moths, the caterpillars of the moths eat the leaves. Things like the barred hook tip and the cray triple lines and the olive crescent. Yeah, I know. The people who named moths and butterflies quite clearly had a lot of fun doing it. Duke of Burgundy. I mean, I'm hoping it's a lovely burgundy colour. Maybe with a little coronet. Anyway, that's by the by. The seeds are also eaten by animals like voles and moles and squirrels, and of course the birds. And French people make it into coffee. And sometimes you even get truffle fungi Yeah, those really expensive mushrooms grow, or some grow, on beaches. And they support the tree. So they help the tree with capturing some nutrients that they can't do easily themselves, in exchange for taking some of the tree's nutrients back. So it's a fair exchange. So if you ever see someone out divining, that's using like a wooden stick that's like forked to find water, and you walk along going, where is it, where is it? And the stick sort of wiggles or drops when they walk across a stream or a water pipe, which supposedly works, but that stick traditionally was often made out of a beech twig, which is quite cool. But then there's a modern day uses, or the more modern uses. And if, like me, you're a child of the 80s, but also 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s, you probably sat on beech at some point while at school. The beech wood doesn't give splinters like other trees do, so it's used for furniture, especially around children. So things like the changing room benches when I was a kid at school, they were made out of beech, and the science block had stools we sat on, and those stools would have been beech as well. But nowadays they're used for cooking utensils, tool handles because it's so strong, and if you like your herring, often that was smoked over beechwood, because beechwood burns incredibly well, and it makes a really nice hedge. And if you clip the leaves, they stay on all year round, so you can have a nice hedge. Now, all the beeches we've got here are green, but there's also the copper beech, which is the same species as the normal beech, but rather than being green leafed, it's copper. And that's Fagus sylvatica purpurea. They are natural mutants of the beech tree. Now, the beech grows over a huge area from Scandinavia down to Spain, and copper beeches were first recognised in the 15th century. It's locationally native, and what I mean by that is in the south it's a native, but you're up north it's non-native, and there's a few trees that do this, but it's that moisture thing. Beeches like free draining soils, which is why it's so surprising that we have beechwood at Hainault, because we're on clay, and clay's not particularly free draining. However, we have pockets of gravel, so that's probably what's happening over there. Oh, it's a warm day. But that's Fagus sylvatica, the queen of the woods, and that's the beech. And that is day 27. 3 days left. Now I'm going to warn you now, day 30, Monday, is going to be quite a busy day. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.